Someone says something stupid, not even malicious, just wrong. Confidently, casually, completely wrong. And before you've decided anything, your jaw tightens, your chest goes hot. The words are already in your mouth. You know this feeling, and you've been told your whole life that this is the problem, that the heat, the reaction, the anger, that's what needs fixing. Breathe, count to 10, be the bigger person. The goal always is less. But what if anger isn't the problem? What if the problem is that nobody ever taught you how to read it? Seneca wrote an entire essay called On Anger. His conclusion was unambiguous. Anger is always wrong, always. Not sometimes excessive, not occasionally misplaced. Always a mistake, without exception. His argument was clinical. Anger is a temporary madness. The moment it takes hold, reason leaves. Whatever you say or do from that state will be worse than what you would have done without it. You hand your opponent the weapon they need. You confirm exactly what they want people to think about you. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire on earth, a man who had every justification and every means to act on his anger, wrote privately about eliminating it, not managing it, eliminating it. He practiced equanimity like a martial art because he knew how quickly the heat could take over. And they weren't wrong about what anger does when it's uncontrolled. The person who stays calm while you rage has already won. The person who baits you and watches you take it owns you. But the Stoics made one mistake. They treated anger as a malfunction, something to be removed like a faulty part. Aristotle looked at that position and called it what it was, a different kind of failure. Imagine watching someone get publicly humiliated for something they didn't do. The wrong person punished. The powerful person walking away clean. Everyone in the room knowing exactly what happened and saying nothing. Now imagine feeling absolutely nothing. No impulse to speak. Aristotle said that person is not enlightened. They are broken, because anger is a moral signal. It fires when something that matters is being violated, when injustice is happening, when a value you hold is being trampled in front of you. The person who has removed that signal hasn't achieved peace. They've achieved indifference. And indifference in the face of genuine wrongdoing is its own moral failure. The Stoics wanted to silence the alarm. Aristotle said the alarm is there for a reason. What needs training is not the absence of anger, but the precision of it. Anger at the right thing, at the right time, proportionate to what actually happened, directed at who is actually responsible. That is not a weakness. That is the most awake version of a person. Anger doesn't fire randomly. It fires at specific things consistently across your entire life. And if you actually look at what those things are, really look without defending yourself, you have one of the most honest maps of your values that exists. More honest than what you'd tell a therapist in the first session. More honest sometimes than what you'd admit to yourself. So try it. Don't think about what you should be angry at. Think about what actually makes your blood run hot. Is it disrespect? People not taking you seriously? Being talked over? Being dismissed? That anger is protecting something about how you need to be seen. That's not wrong, but it's worth knowing. Is it incompetence? People doing things badly, sloppily, without care? That anger is revealing a standard you hold, a value around craft or effort or responsibility that you expect others to share. Is it injustice? The wrong person suffering? The system working exactly as designed for the people who designed it? That anger is pointing somewhere much larger than your own life. The person who explodes at personal slights but feels nothing watching structural violence. That tells you something. Their anger is a bodyguard for the ego, not a compass for values. The person whose anger is almost entirely reserved for power, for the people making decisions that crush other people's lives and sleeping fine, that anger has found its correct address. What you get angry at is who you are. Most people have never examined that. They've only tried to suppress it. But suppression doesn't change what the anger is pointing at. It just means you go through your whole life carrying a signal you never decoded. I was easily baited. Anyone speaking with confidence about something they hadn't thought about for 5 minutes. And I was already reacting, not deciding to react. Reacting. The heat came first, the thought came after, and by then the damage was usually done. The signal was often pointing at something real. The frustration was legitimate. But I was letting whoever knew which button to press run the whole show. And the people who want to win arguments, who want to discredit you rather than engage with what you're saying. They learn very quickly which buttons those are. Your anger, unread, is a map they can use against you. The shift didn't come from suppressing it. It came from not needing it to feel powerful. When I got genuinely comfortable in my own thinking, when I knew I could hold a room, could make my point land without needing to raise my voice, the first reaction stopped being heat. It became curiosity. Someone says something bigoted, something I know is wrong, have thought about deeply, have seen cause real damage. The old version of me met that with fire. The shift was asking a different question first. Not what is wrong with you, but what happened to you? Because nobody arrives at their worst beliefs randomly. There is always a road, fear that got hardened into certainty, a loss that needed someone to blame and found a convenient target. The belief didn't come from nowhere. It came from somewhere real, even if it landed somewhere wrong. And once you're genuinely curious about that road, something changes in the conversation. You stop being their opponent. You become someone trying to understand them better than they currently understand themselves. And people, even people saying things you find genuinely repugnant, can feel the difference between someone trying to defeat them and someone trying to actually reach them. The defenses come down. I have changed more minds from that place, calm, curious, genuinely trying to find the road that led there, than I ever did from the heat. Not because I was being strategic about it, because it was true, and people can feel the difference. But the anger didn't disappear. It just found its actual targets. Ignorance gets empathy. Power gets anger. The ordinary person repeating something wrong because that's all they were ever given. They are not the enemy. In a real sense, they are another casualty of the same thing I'm angry about. But the politician who knows exactly what the truth is and constructs a lie anyway because the lie is more useful, that deserves anger. The corporation that has the resources to do the right thing and runs a cost-benefit analysis on human suffering instead, that deserves anger. Aristotle called this the right target. That anger doesn't cloud judgment. It sharpens it. It doesn't hand your opponent a weapon. It is the weapon wielded deliberately. There is a reason the people in power spend so much energy telling you that anger is undignified, that the reasonable position is always the moderate one, that you should engage civilly with people who are not engaging civilly with the consequences of their decisions. They are not giving you advice. They are managing you. The Stoics were right that uncontrolled anger is a cage, but they were wrong that the answer is an empty room. Anger that fires at everything equally has lost the signal. It has become weather, something that just happens to you, that other people can use to predict and manipulate you. but anger that has been read, examined, and aimed. That is one of the most honest things about you. It knows what you value before you've finished thinking about it. The question isn't how to feel less of it. It's whether you've ever actually looked at what it's been pointing at.